Well, let's move on now and bring on board the CFO of Aarti Drugs, Mr. Adhish Patil. The company has, it's of course had a strong second quarter show, but it's been a great multi-bagger, great wealth creator as well for its investors. And not just that, the company also has approved a fundraising plan. So, Mr. Patil, thank you so much for joining us today on ET Now. Firstly, take us through the second quarter numbers. I see good top line and bottom line growth. So, what exactly transpired during the quarter?
Yeah, so the top line growth was very good. It was around 21% year on year. Our API segment also did very well. Our domestic API segment grew by around 21%, exports around 9 to 10%, and formulation grew excellently well at around 48 to 49%. So this was the main areas where we have shown strong growth in the September quarter.
Okay, Mr. Patil, how was, let's, specifically talk on the API business. How did you fare in India? What was the growth? I mean, you vaguely mentioned on the exports bit as well. How did that fare? I mean, did you see yourself capturing more of the Indian market share, the Indian market pie when it comes to API?
Yes, this first half of the entire, this 2020-21, because of lockdown, frankly speaking, a few of our areas like anti-protozoal and anti-infective segments, they did not do that well in terms of quantities because of the lockdown. People were staying home, so the spread of infection was quite less. So we feel that that demand will actually grow more in next year. But in spite of that, a lot of other therapeutic categories like anti-inflammatory, anti-diabetic has shown a very good growth for us. In API segment, our domestic market means because of the increase in the market share, definitely, it grew almost around 21%. A lot of the imported product was substituted by our product. So we are proud of that. And as far as the export market is concerned, there also around 9% API growth we have seen. And out of the total growth in API, you can attribute around 55 to 60% of the growth to the volume, and the rest was because of the increase in the prices.
Right. So, but what is the sense you get about the momentum in the pharma pack? You think that that momentum in the export market, domestic market that was seen in Q1 would continue in Q2 and going ahead?
So Q2, we did quite well. In Q3, frankly speaking, for pharma market, it's being a winter season. For domestic market, it is usually a lean season, December, and then again March quarter should do excellently well. As far as the margins are concerned, even December quarter margins are going quite good, and we hope that we'll repeat similar kind of performance in December quarter as well. So March quarter will be a little far-fetched for us to guess as of now, means how March quarter will pan out. That we'll have to see.
Right. So you have also approved a fundraising. What is that particularly for?
So we have around 7-8 projects which will require a capex of around 600 crores apart from the maintenance capex, which is around 20 crores a year. So that capex will be done in 2 phases. Majority of the capex will be done in the phase 1 itself in 18 to 24 months. And phase 2 will be maybe in 3rd or 4th year. So right now we do have very strong internal approvals, but we have taken a general approval from the board to raise funds either in the form of equity or in the form of debt, whichever will be best for the company at that given point of time. Just I would like to mention one thing, that even if we fund the entire capex using debt, our debt to equity, even at the peak times, won't go beyond 0.7. Means already we started this year with a debt to equity ratio of 0.59 on 31st March 2020. And right now we are at 0.47, half year completed. So even with the debt, things are quite comfortable, and the cost of long-term debt is also much below 7% as of now. So both the options are open for us.
Right. Just in terms of new launches, volume growth, what is the sense you're getting apart from key markets like India and US? You think other markets are also approaching India now, and that is a big thing for a company like Aarti Drugs?
Yeah. So already we have seen that few of the European clients, they are trying to move more and more toward Indian manufactured product. Definitely, in the light of COVID, and even before that, 3 years back, there was a sharp shortage of supply from the Chinese market because of closures put down on Chinese factory in year 2017-18. And after that, in the short span of 3 years, again, this COVID thing has happened. So definitely we can clearly see a sort of shift from for a long-term demand from China to India. So that is definitely going to benefit our Indian manufacturers.
Right. Just in terms of pricing, can you just tell us that as the volumes increases, you tend to get a lot of scale coming in. So even if prices don't go up, margins for the sector itself could go up in the coming future?
Yes, correct. Means if the volume goes up, definitely operating leverage kicks in, and per kg cost of product reduces, and margins are definitely helped. But even the increasing rate directly benefits the bottom line, no doubt about that. As of now, what we see, the margins are stable going forward. There are a lot of new government schemes coming up, because of which there will be slightly added kicker in the margins, because Indian government has realized that we have to become self-reliant. And fortunately, Aarti Drugs, right since 6 to 7 years back, we introduced products like Nor, O, and levofloxacin and their intermediates in India. So they were kind of import substitutes. So our Aarti Drugs way of strategy, and now what government is doing, there is a lot of synergy in that. So definitely it will help Aarti Drugs as such in terms of margin in the coming quarters as well.
Right, so thank you so much, sir, for taking out time for us. Always good to get perspective from. That was the management at Aarti Drugs, fundraisings as well as results. On that note, we're taking a break, coming back quickly. Stay tuned, lots more lined up. You have a lot of numbers today as well. We'll get some previews going as to what to expect from Kotak and some of the other large companies.